Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are again reacting to some trends. This time we're going over some spring-summer 2023 trends. And I have to say this was hard because the trends are not playing in our favor this season. If like me, you're a classic loving, sophisticated searching, feminine girl, designers were not taking you into consideration, I'm afraid to say. But we'll make the most of it. We will find a few little kernels of joy when we can, and we'll make fun of the rest. And believe me, there is a lot to make fun of. But we will start on a positive note with the first key piece for this season, which are summer trousers. I think this is such a welcome change from the mini skirts that we have been seeing for years. And what I love about this trend is the fact that it is practical. So not only you're going to look very elegant, but it will also be able to transform this piece in many ways, style it in many different ways, take it from office to party to weekend to nighttime in a very seamless way just by styling it different. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. A few features to keep in mind are: one, the material. You want something that looks summery. So no heavy wools, no too consistent fabrics. Go for a linen, a cotton, a gabardine, those types of fabrics that will give it a little bit of movement, that will allow it to be a little less clingy to the body, a bit of a looser structure. Will sort of add that cool harmony to your look. But that doesn't mean that if it is a looser fit, it has to be poorly tailored. Au contraire, you want something that looks beautifully shaped, something that fits you well around the waist, something that doesn't cling to your hips, something that has the right length for you to walk around in freedom without tripping over yourself is very important. Key piece number 2 is denim. And I'm not talking about basic, casual, versatile denim. I'm talking about full-on, total look denim. Why are they doing this to us? I mean, it's giving me Britney and Justin go to prom together. Was it like the VMAs or so? I don't know. It was traumatic then. It was bad looking then. Why are we trying to make it happen now? It's a lot of baggy, low rise options that can only look good and sometimes not even on models. It's that type of piece that is so easy to get wrong because the material itself is so casual and is already kind of rustic, kind of beaten down. So making it chic is almost impossible. I saw one, I think was Etro, that kind of looked okay. It had a little bit of their very heritage, very traditional print. It was a darker denim. But still, I will never get the appeal of wearing 100% jeans. Someone explain it to me. We also saw a lot of knee-length skirts. This is also a great trend to add to our wardrobes. It's the type of piece, just like the trousers, that you can transform depending on how you style it. You can get a very elegant, sophisticated look without adding too much information. The look this season is a little bit more streamlined, so we're not talking about flared, we're not talking about A-line skirts, we're talking about pencil skirts, maybe a wrap skirt. A tulip skirt is really big right now with a little bit of draping. For us shorter girls, I think it might be interesting to consider a little bit of heels. Not too high, not too accident prone, but just something to give you a lift, to elevate you a little bit so that the proportions work better. If you're a tall girl, put this on with a beautiful, very minimal sort of T-strap flat sandal. You will look so chic with so little effort. Crochet and open weaves, I would steer clear from it. I have this feeling that all designers kind of got together and decided that the best dressed character from Friends was Phoebe, and they're trying to make her into a style icon. but it is a big trend. I saw it in basically any major show. A lot of different interpretations of it. You can go for a more 70s boho kind of classic crochet. There's a lot of macrame as well. I've seen some interpretations that fall into the 90s sort of distressed. That kind of grunginess, I think, is one of the ways they're doing it as well. And then you have it just as a decorative piece with really big wide nets that just fall over your look as a finishing touch to whatever you're wearing. I just think it looks a little arts and craftsy. Really hard to make chic, will not last more than a season and will become very dated very fast. So I don't think it's worth it. And fifth key piece is the one that just breaks my heart, gives me heart palpitations. Just who thought this was okay? They are bringing back low rise. Why? It doesn't look good on anyone. It makes even the skinniest girl look paunchy. You can't even bend down to grab something that fell on the floor. Why are we doing this to ourselves? It's uncomfortable. It just creates a muffin top when you don't really have one. You can't tuck things in. I can't help but feel that soon we will be seeing, I don't know if you remember this, it's the worst thing ever, when people showed their thong out of their jeans, so low-rise jeans and like the straps of the thong. No. Oh my god, I'm giving them ideas. Stop me. I'm not gonna say anything anymore. Relaxed tailoring. Yay, finally something that can breathe again. This is a great continuation of that more minimalist, kind of androgynous 90s feel from Autumn Winter. We saw it with a kind of Carolyn Bessette Kennedy aesthetic. Those very clean lines, think Calvin Klein, think Bill Blass, think Donna Karan. And this time they are giving the same treatment to jackets, to tailoring, to blazers, to vests. So those additional pieces that can make styling a look fun, but also add structure to it. Also a great guide to take into consideration when getting the trousers and the skirts that I mentioned in the point before. You want something that's easy, something that looks effortless, nothing too close to the body, nothing constrictive. For instance, with blazers, we don't want any cinching in, no double breasting this time. Go for a mono breasting, go for something that you can wear open. Just that hint of structure that will kind of make sense out of a very breezy look. Love that they're also doing it in many shades of nudes, whites, tans. So easy, just easy to integrate into your wardrobe. Another aesthetic, and this I think kind of comes from TikTok influence a little bit because we see it a lot there. The baby doll slash boudoir aesthetic with a hint of goth, because those two weren't enough. You had to add goth to it. We see it in, like I said, 2 iterations, more aggressive dominatrix with corsetry, with leather, with lace, with a lot of lingerie inspired elements. And then you have the more Lolita, coquettish, kind of innocent, with ruffles, with lighter colors, with Mary Janes. But to make it a little less childish, I guess they thought that adding a little bit of a more moody goth feature to it would solve the problem. It's exactly what someone would wear in 2005 while listening to Good Charlotte, trying to put eyeliner and getting very, very angry and frustrated that you're not capable of doing it, your music is still out, your mom is complaining, you have no reason to hate your life, but you do, you're an emo girl, and that is it. Those days are behind me. I don't want to be that anymore. It's a train wreck, guys. It can look so trashy so fast if you go the dominatrix route, or so costumey if you go the sort of emo baby doll route. So there is no winning to this. I'm not saying that you cannot look sexy and still be elegant. I did a whole video about it. But I'm just saying, tone it down, make it a nod, not a slap in the face. Utilitarian and cargo. This has also been big a lot of pockets, fastenings, metal buckles, and hardware accents. Bomber jackets and boiler suits are still very big. You get the interpretation of it in a variety of colors, of materials. It's the key piece to have if you want to be on trend this season. I'm skipping it, of course. Or maybe I can make it into something. Maybe I am not going bungee jumpy. Maybe I'm going safari chic. So you still get that utilitarian feel, of course. Safari is utilitarian, right? But you have the structured color. You can even add a belt, maybe a little hat. Who knows? Maybe I'll be on trend this season. Then we move on to grunge, naturally. We are apparently obsessed with the 90s and the 2000s. We're trying to redeem them by making them stylish again. There is no redemption here. It is basically all of those terrible trends I've mentioned clumped together in one style. So you get the baggy jeans, you get the distressing, you get flannels, see-through tops, check prints. It's kind of like that scene from Clueless. Do you remember when Travis is walking and he's with his friends and they pan all of their outfits? Ew. As if. When will the 40s and the 50s go back in style? I cannot wait for that time. I'll go to sleep and you guys can wake me up when that happens, okay? Red was a huge presence this season. Every designer had at least one head-to-toe red look on their show, and you could go either way here. You can use it as an accent color to sort of brighten up a look, or you can go full-on monochromatic and you would still be on trend. The key shade is a very specific type of primary red, so it might be a little bit hard to pull off depending on your coloring, depending on your undertones. If you are more warm toned, I would suggest for you to go slightly, but very slightly, to a more orange or brown shade, like maybe a chili red or into the vermilion family. And if you're a cool toned or neutral tone kind of gal, you could go into the more crimson apple red. But I do think this is something we can all try. We also have a lot of black this summer, and this is actually something that was very in last summer as well. I get the appeal because black is so easy to style. It looks great on anyone. In the summer we can feel kind of sluggish, so wearing black can make this instantly a little bit more elegant. But just thinking of putting on an all black outfit with 40 degrees Celsius outside makes me moody. So I don't think I'll be adopting this. Maybe I can make it work for nighttime looks. If I'm going out, I can have a black dress and sort of amp it up with a few accessories, with a beautiful red lipstick. That could work. Or maybe with a bit of transparency, maybe just something to give it a little bit more life. But if you want to do the whole black, you totally can. You would be very trendy doing it. Liquid metals are also very important this season. I have to say, it might be a little bit challenging, but I love this. I like that it's kind of futuristic, kind of different. We are sort of moving away from the sequins, from the embroidery that has been so present for so long now. And we're moving into something that is a little bit more luxurious, that full plated, metallic, that makes you look like a beautiful statue, basically. It might seem a little bit complicated, I understand, but there is a way to go about it. The range of shades of metal this season go from chrome to baby blue to copper, but if you're feeling a little insecure, go for the classics. Go for bronze, for gold, or for silver, and you'll be fine. When you find that shade that is right for you, it will almost act as a neutral because it'll go with everything. Metallics go with everything. Just think about jewelry that you wear. It just matches somehow. I don't know if it's the light, if it's the reflection, but it adds that touch of cool without looking out of place. It's also a great way of adding texture to a look. So maybe the piece is very basic itself, but just by it being metallic, it will look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more different. Bold florals and appliques. I'm not going to make the joke of florals for spring, groundbreaking, because I have been seeing florals for spring for basically 5 years now, and that joke is getting a little bit old. But the difference here is the type of floral. This time we are seeing bold, graphic, very artsy florals that are not really my cup of tea, but I get that it is a little bit more creative, a little bit more out of the box. But the other version of it is the three-dimensional, a little bit more sculptural appliques. So not a print, but just an attached detail, sometimes more of a texture that belongs to the fabric, and sometimes a full-on flower just stuck to you. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I do love when you get that more surrealist appeal to a piece. So I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm just going to say be very specific about it. Then we move on to gradients and tie-dye, and things start going downhill again. Most likely will look like a bad ska band album cover, but I've seen very, very rare occasions of this that doesn't look that much of a disaster, which is when it's done within a color palette. So not a rainbow of tie-dye, not crazy splatterings everywhere, but something that looks organized and complementary. Only Giorgio Armani could make me slightly convinced of this trend. Not saying I'm on board, I'm just saying there's a better way to do it. And then to finish off this video, we'll just go back to our comfort zones, get inside our little cocoon, and just be glad that beiges and tans are a huge trend this season. Yes, we can finally take a deep breath and know that even if we buy a piece that does not fall into any of these categories, if it is tan, it is in. So there is always a silver lining, guys. There's always a silver lining. Tans are one of the chicest color palettes that you can find. They go with everything. They warm up your skin, especially if you have a tan. Great base to wear with jewelry. Great way of mixing in other colors if you want to throw in a jewel tone, a brighter tone, a red. Timeless, will certainly last more than one season. You can invest on a piece this season because there will be many and you will wear it for the rest of your life. This is it, everyone. I am exhausted. Was I too mean? I didn't mean to be mean, but I also think it's important to be selective and not convince ourselves that something works when it doesn't. It's really easy to say, oh, I saw this on Dior, I saw this on Chanel, and magically think that you should be wearing that too. Not the case. Have boundaries. Let me know what you guys thought of the trends of this season. I skipped a few because a lot were very scary and I didn't want to lose half of my audience. But if there are any trends that I didn't mention on this video that you think I should adopt or consider, leave them down below. Hopefully you found this entertaining, if not useful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see each other again next time. Bye bye.